What's up? Hi, Isabel. Back with another Reddit Vegans. It's episode 3 now. Gonna make this one short, sweet, because I'm about to go do a workout, so I want to get this out of the way for today. Alright, so the first one that we have here: do vegans have an obligation to advocate veganism? It's on Debate a Vegan. It's a tough one. Do you have an obligation to advocate for veganism? I don't know if you have an obligation to, but I definitely think you should. Even if your advocation is just leading by example or just, educating people in general, just bare bones stuff that honestly I don't think is gonna be that effective, but just some bare bones stuff, to like stand your ground. But I feel like everybody should. I feel like all vegans should be activists. I feel like everyone should be an activist. That's obviously quite a big ask, but if you're a vegan, you care about animals, I think you should start becoming an activist. We need more people who are willing to actually stand up and do things to fight for animal rights, whether that's posting things online, whether that's going to marches, protests, demonstrations, doing outreach, especially pressure campaigns. Am I right? Yeah. You don't have an obligation to advocate for it, but I feel like you should. Our next one, we have thoughts on using CGI animals in media. I don't get what this is purpose was. I feel like yes. I feel like it's way better to use a CGI animal than to exploit an actual animal. The thing with the use of animals in movies is, I feel like most of the time, like, there's abuse that goes along, like, and the way that the animal is treated. So I feel like it can start to get into more of a moral gray area when you're talking about maybe this is someone's pet, maybe they're a rescue, they're just shooting in a few scenes. Is that necessarily wrong? Does that count as exploitation because you are using that animal without their consent and we shouldn't do that? Or is it fine because the animal doesn't have any, like, it couldn't possibly have any concerns about being recorded? It's one of those gray areas where I feel like I respect either side. My personal opinion, I don't know. Alright, we have a lovely vegan soldier. Let's take a look at this. Let's read it out. Let's read this one out. I like it. I buy local beef and chicken so as not contribute to more factory farming. I feel connected to my culture when eating traditional meat dishes. It's healthy for my diet as I don't eat too much of it or smoke it. And yes, it also would greatly inconvenience me to stop. I don't see eating meat as a moral problem at all. Factory farming, sure. Not farm-raised animals. I also hunt, and I show respect for the animal, and I often cry while killing it. I also don't waste any part of the animal, and I try to give back to the ecology of the local area in some way. Don't demonize and assume immorality in everyone who eats meat. That all being said, respectfully, my diet is none of your damn business, and yours is none of mine. Here's the thing. I'm not exactly sure what this person's like local economy is like what their grocery store is like. But let's go off the assumption that they do have vegan options. And you just don't need to kill an animal. You don't need to kill them to eat them. And you say you often cry while killing them. Maybe it's because you know it's wrong. So I don't see eating meat as a moral problem. Don't demonize and assume immorality in everyone who eats meat. I agree with don't demonize and assume immorality in everyone who eats meat, but that does not make eating meat a not bad thing. I worded that a little weirdly, but just think about it like this. In general, we can say killing people is bad. We can say that, right? We can say killing people is bad. Of course, there are numerous exceptions, but we generally understand killing people is bad, if we don't have to do it. And if you do it when you don't have to do it, then that's bad. That's wrong. And even if you do have to do it, it shouldn't be like looked at something that's good either when you have to do it, because it's still, the act is immoral. In any place where you have to do it, it should be like, damn, I wish I didn't have to do this. I'm not gonna go parade it around. And not just eating animals, but exploiting them too for other stuff. Alright, I'm not a vegetarian. I mean, it's clear I'm not a vegetarian, but like, yeah. Alright, we have our last one. See, I told this one's gonna be a short one. Necessary versus unnecessary. Alright, this one weirded me out a little bit, but bear with me for a second. We're gonna read through this. Hey everyone, just discovered this subreddit today and wanted to make a post in regards to a common argument made in favor of veganism. I've been fascinated with veganism and the topics surrounding it, environmental impact, ethics, health, for a few years now, and I've always heard an argument that I believe is on shaky ground and needs more clarification. It's central to many arguments in regards to ethics, and I've seen Earthling Ed use this most. I've also watched his content the most. It goes as follows. Eating animal products is immoral due to the unnecessary harm and death it causes them. And this claim usually leads to eating animal products is unnecessary because a human can survive without them. Therefore, animal products are unnecessary foods. My question to this, what is a necessary food? Is it wrong to assume that if you label a food as unnecessary, you should also be able to label other foods as necessary? It's difficult to point to any one food and deem it essential for humans because it doesn't really exist. There's no one food or food group for that matter. It's essential for human survival because we more specifically depend on calories and macro/micronutrients. I fucked that up. Macro/micronutrients. What is the arbiter of necessity and how do we determine it? No, I don't really see the point in debating what's necessary versus unnecessary, because technically necessary versus unnecessary is kind of like a switch in, a switch out. Now, let me explain real quick. So yes, eating animal products is unnecessary, but you could also say that eating potatoes is unnecessary because you have say we have for carbohydrates you only have potatoes or wheat. Potatoes or wheat. You say eating potatoes is unnecessary if you're eating this wheat, but eating this wheat is unnecessary if you're eating these potatoes. So unnecessary, necessary. When you don't apply ethics or morals to it, I don't really see the point in bringing that debate up. The only reason we talk about eating animal products is unnecessary is because there's a moral issue with eating them. I would argue that having stuffed animals is unnecessary, but what's the point in arguing that? There's really no moral conundrum with having a stuffed animal. Let's look past the capitalism issues and stuff like that, but just like pretend like you have a stuffed animal, all right? Just having a stuffed animal. The stuffed animal exists in a vacuum, okay? There's no moral issue with that. But there is a moral issue with eating someone's body. With eating the excretions that come from someone that cannot consent to that. That's the issue. That's the issue with eating animal products. And that's why we talk about it being unnecessary. Because if you needed to eat animal products to be healthy, it would be necessary. But we don't need to eat them, so we deem it as unnecessary only because there's a moral issue with doing so. Without that moral issue, it doesn't matter if it's unnecessary. And like I said with the potato wheat example, you can just switch in, switch out things, and depending on the situation, something's unnecessary or necessary. And that's that. See? Nice, short, sweet, simple, guys. Summary.